Okay, guys, we're continuing on with agriculture and industry. If you watched the first video of the first page, then you got a good definition of both agriculture and industry. Those are really important points that you're going to see on the questions at the end of the week. So make sure you know what both of those words mean. And let's find out about agriculture and industry in Arizona, starting with cotton. Arizona's cotton kingdom. Here's one Arizona crop we bet you've never tasted. Even so, the odds are pretty good that if you wear clothes, you've had an up-close and personal experience with Arizona cotton. Hopefully we're all wearing clothes right now, but I don't know, everybody's at home. Actually, there's no easy way to tell which clothes were made from Arizona cotton and which from California cotton or New Mexico cotton for that matter. This much we do know. Arizona produces about 550,000 bales of cotton every year. A bale of cotton weighs 480 pounds. Wow, that's a lot. In fact, I'm going to highlight that because I know I'm going to see that later on. You can get 325 or more pairs of jeans out of one bale of cotton, depending on the size. Good moves for Arizona's economy. See what they did there? Not good news, but good moves. If you're ever driving near an Arizona ranch, keep your ears open. But also, if you've ever driven near an Arizona ranch, you know to probably keep your windows closed because, ooh-wee, it stinks, right? You might just hear the mooing of man's second best friend, the cow. Man's trusty dog, of course, comes in first. Why one of man's best friends? It might be because Arizona's beef cows produce hundreds of millions of dollars worth of beef per year. That's a lot of hamburgers. How much milk do you think you can drink? 3 cups a day, 5, 10? Well, it's a start, but you'd have to drink a lot more to match what Arizona milk cows put out. Arizona cows often produce more milk per cow than any other state, about 2,200 pounds of milk per cow in 1 year. How about a milkshake to go with that hamburger? Sounds good to me. Sheep are the best? I don't know. We just were trying to talk about cows and cows being the best. What's better, cows, sheep? I don't know. Let's see. Sheep are the best. Cows are the best. No, sheep are the best. Apparently we can't make up our minds here. Well, that argument has been going on for too long. But one thing's for sure. Sheep have been part of Arizona agriculture for a long time, and there are a lot of them, about 110,000. Navajo and Hopi began raising sheep back in the 1850s, followed by Mexican and white Americans in the 1870s. I'm going to highlight this here about the Navajo and Hopi. That just goes to show you how long sheep have been a part of Arizona's agriculture and our economy. It was a very long time ago, and it was the Navajo and Hopi that were first. So you're going to see 2 questions come from this one highlighted statement right here. Healthy fruits and veggies. This is my personal favorite section on here because I love my fruits and veggies. Everyone knows that fruits and vegetables are healthy foods. The USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, recommends that kids your age eat 3 to 5 cups of these healthy foods every day. That shouldn't be hard for kids in Arizona. Our state ranks second in the country in the production of lettuce, spinach, broccoli, cauliflower, honeydew, and cantaloupe. So we're going to pause here and highlight a couple of statements here. 3 to 5 servings of vegetables a day, which probably sounds like a lot, but if you really think about it, that's like having a cup of orange juice in the morning and maybe some strawberries or a banana with your breakfast. And then maybe at lunchtime you have some carrot sticks or some celery. And then at dinner time, maybe you have broccoli or green beans. It's real easy to hit 3 to 5 in a day with no problem. If you eat an apple every day like I do, then you're already most of the way there. Also, this information here about the things that we produce in Arizona, because you're going to see a question asking about some of the crops. So we've got lettuce, spinach, broccoli, cauliflower, honeydew, and cantaloupe, and of course, oranges. Arizona orange growers produce millions of pounds of oranges every year. Add more of these homegrown fruits and veggies to your diet, and you'll be on the road to good health while helping Arizona's farmers. So that's a lot about our agriculture and the things we grow and that sort. Now let's talk about the industry a little bit. We got a lot of companies and businesses that do a lot of amazing things here in Arizona. High-tech industries soar higher. What is the ideal job for you? If you can hardly wait to grow up and study the watering habits of African wildebeests, then you may have to move far away to find work. But how does this sound? You work in an air-conditioned environment. You're developing tomorrow's technology for anything from cell phones to suborbital commercial space planes. Your pay is high enough that you can have all you need and even take your family on awesome vacations. I don't know about you guys, that sounds pretty good to me, and some of your parents might be in the background thinking, where do I sign up, right? If that sounds terrific to you, then you may never need to move away from Arizona. Phew! The high-tech industry is growing each year in Arizona. High-tech means advanced or complex technology. Now, we know that technology changes from year to year, that all of the technology that comes out gets improved pretty rapidly. I mean, think back to, the very first iPhone and how many different versions of the iPhone we've had and how many times it's gotten better. That happens very rapidly. So that tells us a little bit about what we're talking about when we're saying high-tech industry, okay? Now, in the Phoenix area alone, there are more than 300 aerospace companies, and it is predicted that many more will move here in the future. So we've got a lot of high-tech stuff going on here in Arizona, which is pretty cool. Altogether, high-tech industries in Arizona produce billions of dollars worth of business for Arizona every year. To top it off, high-tech industries in Arizona provide tens of thousands of high-paying jobs for Arizonans just like you. They've just taken a few more laps around the sun than you have. If you don't know what that means, it means they're older than you. Does this sound too good to be true? It's not. You just keep enjoying school, go to college for a few years, and then you're on your way. Now, Arizona lumber. And I want to point out real quick this picture down here at the bottom of your screen where we see all these tree trunks. If you've ever driven up north to Flagstaff, chances are you've seen one of those big trucks with all of these kind of strapped onto it. Because lumber is a very, very big part of our economy in Arizona up north. So the lumber industry is huge in the Flagstaff area and up north. We have all those trees for the pine forest and whatnot. So this is a very common sight when you are heading up north. I'm sure most of us have seen one of those trucks with all of these, what looks like tree trunks strapped onto them. Is your home at least partly made of wood? Most homes are, and so your answer is probably yes. That may be why cutting down Arizona's trees to make lumber for building has always been big business in our state. Long ago, Arizona natives knocked trees down by burning them. Later on, explorers discovered that Arizona lumber was terrific for building forts. By the late 1800s, many of the towns in Arizona had grown up around lumber mills and railroad tracks. Today, lumber companies are careful not to cut down too many trees or cut too often in the same place. And most lumber companies plant several trees for every tree they cut down. That's an important point right there, and I'm going to highlight that. And that probably makes a lot of us feel better, because I'm sure as some of us were reading about all these trees that are being cut down, we're like, no, save the trees. Don't you remember the Lorax? So thank goodness they are replacing them as they cut them down, because as we've been talking about with our resources, whether or not it's renewable or non-renewable, we should know which category trees fall under. We know it's really important to plant new trees as we're cutting down the old ones. It wouldn't do at all to run out of trees, but one thing's for sure. As long as there are things to build out of wood, Arizona's lumber industry will keep going strong. Now, one of our biggest industries is tourism. And I always like to mention that my family was actually a big part of the tourism industry for a long time, because before we lived in Arizona, my parents were tourists to Arizona. They came out for a visit, I believe, way back in 1987. I know, that's a long time ago. And they liked it so much in Arizona that they decided to buy a house and move the whole family here. They came back for several trips after that, and since we moved here, we've had so many people from our family come and visit, and that's essentially what we're talking about when we talk about tourists. Don't make any sudden movements. We don't want to frighten him away before we get a good shot. On the count of 3, we'll quickly aim and shoot. 1, 2, 3, go! Quick, turn and take the picture. Snap! Great picture. Let us present to you, ta-da, the Arizona tourist. Please notice the baggy plaid shorts and the Mickey Mouse t-shirt worn by these remarkable creatures as one of nature's most clever disguises. Observe also the digital camera kept close at hand in a pocket of those plaid shorts. Now, obviously, they're talking about tourists as if they were animals on a safari, but we've all seen those tourists and the way they come to visit, and you can usually spot them because they're taking pictures of everything. People come from all over the world to visit Arizona's amazing attractions, natural wonders, and ancient pueblos and cliff dwellings. Natural wonders, we have one of the natural wonders of the world here in Arizona. I bet you know what it is without me even having to tell you, but if you're not sure, here's a hint. It's very grand. I know, cheesy. The tourist industry brings in billions of dollars to Arizona each year. Now we're going to highlight that sentence, but I'm going to tell you right now, when you see the question this week about how much money, they're going to attach a specific dollar amount to it. And I'm going to tell you that the dollar amount that they attach to it in the questions, it's more than that. Billions and billions and billions. So that hopefully will help you. The question that you're going to see is going to say, brings in a specific number of billions. It's more than that. So keep that in mind. The tourist industry brings in billions of dollars to Arizona each year, and it just keeps growing. Arizona has hotels, airlines, restaurants, car rentals, and lots of great burritos, sure to please anyone who happens to visit. So agriculture and industry, very, very big parts of Arizona and what makes us the state that we are today. We've got one more video coming up next with the last few sections of our newspaper. Tune in for that. See you guys soon.